can the Nebraska Cornhuskers land any 5-star in this class? Because, guys, the recruiting weekend that they have in front of them and this incredible list of visitors is nothing that any college football fan, especially if you're in the Midwest, should be overlooking. Because one thing that Matt Rhule wants to do is make Nebraska great again by especially recruiting the kids that are great in the Midwest. And let me tell you, he's got a haul of kids from Missouri on this list. But before we dive into it, please go ahead and hit that like and the subscribe button. Guys, here's the deal. When Nebraska is good, college football is better. So go ahead, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, because here's the deal. If you guys are seeing my videos and you're not subscribed, my videos are still going to pop up. So do me a favor, because I'm about to get married here in June. Hit the subscribe button, because your engagement helps me make more money so that, hey, we can afford a new house, potentially start a family. Just do me a small favor, guys. But let's talk about some Nebraska football now. Nebraska football. This list, guys, every time I look at it, I'm in awe because it's that good. Let's start off with the 5-stars on this list. The first one, Dylan Raiola, the 5-star quarterback out of Phoenix, Arizona, out of Pinnacle High School, where he recently just transferred. A lot of people are thinking this recruitment's going to come down between Nebraska, USC, and Georgia. Those are probably the three main players here. You've seen the crystal balls flip back and forth from Wiltfong to Georgia, to USC, to Nebraska, and, listen, they're all over the place. Here's the deal. I've said it many times. I think Raiola will end up being a Cornhusker. The Cornhuskers have so much going for them. His uncle's there. He can go visit his uncle during dead periods. It gives them an advantage over the other two schools. And if he goes to a school like Nebraska, the NIL deals are going to be there for him. Nebraska's got money. Don't be fooled, guys. Nebraska got money. They got the money. They got the dough. They got the bank. They've been paying it out when they need to. And Dylan Raiola can get that NIL money there. And he'd be a superstar. And, they land a guy like Raiola, all of a sudden, I think Matt Rhule's probably got a 2 or 3 year clock on him. But then you look at some of the, I think, outside of Raiola, probably their, I would say, most intriguing recruit, Williams Winery, the 5-star defensive lineman out of Lee Summit North and Lee Summit, Missouri. We talked about Missouri kids and the focus that Matt Rhule is going to have to put on those. So Williams Winery, you hear that Oklahoma, which I agree is the leader in his recruitment, a top 10 player, top 5 player in the country. But then you've also got guys like Ryan Wingo. You've got guys like Andrew Sprague. Let's see here. What other Missouri guys do we have on this list? You've got Isaiah Mosey, but he's a 2025 guy. You have Michael Boganowski. He's in Junction City, Kansas. That's close enough to Missouri. You have Riley Sunram. You got him as well. You've got Jaden Riddell. Or no, Jaden Riddell's in Maryland. But you get the point, right? You get the point. He's making a focus to go out there and make Nebraska great by getting the guys that are close to your state. So Williams Winery, extremely talented guy. I think a guy that you can play on the edge, drop back into coverage, but a guy that if you put a little bit more size on him could definitely play on the interior. So it's going to be dependent on how Matt Rhule wants to use him. I'm curious to hear about this visit that Williams Winery is taking and how this impacts his recruitment. Nebraska fans, I wouldn't give your hope up on that one, because I really do think Oklahoma lands this commitment. They got so much going for him, especially with his head coach being from Oklahoma and giving him that influence a little bit, but still wanting him to go out and see the world. Let's just keep our eyes on it. Because it's an interesting visit. So we talked about it. The 5-star wide receiver, Ryan Wingo. Really, you're seeing those crystal balls flow in for Tennessee. I want to see Colorado made huge strides in that recruitment when they got Ryan Wingo on their campus. What can Nebraska do? If Dylan Raiola says, hey, Ryan, I'm going to commit to Nebraska this summer. I want you here with me. Does Ryan Wingo give that silent commitment? or does he just commit right there on the spot? That's going to be something interesting, something I think we have to watch, because Dylan Raiola is there. He's going to attract guys like Wingo. So then you got the 4-star going to be a 5-star this year, offensive lineman Brandon Baker out of Santa Ana, California. Obviously, by no shocker, your leaders here in the clubhouse are going to be USC, Oregon, and UCLA. But you do have him taking a visit to Nebraska. He's taking a visit to Colorado. He's going out there. He's seeing his options. Again, if you're going to get a 5-star quarterback like Dylan Raiola, this is the kind of talent that he's going to attract. And also, you need good offensive linemen to be able to go out there and defend your prized quarterback. Now, when you look at rebuilding a team from the bottom, you have to be able to go out there and build in the trenches. And that's something that Matt Rhule is trying to do here on the recruiting trail. Look at this. He's bringing in 4-star Andrew Sprague as well. Right now, you've got Kansas State, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Nebraska. All of these teams are in there. You've also got other offensive linemen coming in, like Riley Sunrim, who Nebraska easily should be able to come there and win that one. You've got Gibson Pyle from Houston, Texas. You've got Gage Ginther, who actually just took a visit to Oklahoma and recently just took a visit to Colorado, but just recently got an offer from Oklahoma as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one. And then you've got Simizai Tonga as well. So one thing we've noticed, you've seen a plethora of offensive linemen here. Probably one of the most notable outside of Brandon Baker is Grant Bricks. But we'll talk about that one here in a minute. Additionally, when you have to build in the trenches, you got to get the defensive linemen. So I gave you guys Williams Nwaneri. Don't hold your breath, but it's great to get a guy like that on campus. Nigel Smith's actually not going to end up being there this weekend, so unfortunately, that's kind of a bummer for them. But you're still getting guys like Jacob Smith, the 4-star defensive end, who is wanted by teams like Alabama, Notre Dame. So you've got Gerard Smith. Again, what's the common factor here you're seeing? Notre Dame, Alabama. You've also got guys like Ian Flint, the 4-star tight end. Carter Nelson, the 4-star tight end, who is from your own state and somebody that I think you realistically have to land. And then also Jaden Riddell, which I think Jaden Riddell will end up playing at the University of Alabama. But you're getting my point here, right? You're tracking with me. Trenches, 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 trenches. So then we got Ryan Pelham, the 4-star wide receiver, who will probably end up at USC or Texas A&M. And Gatlin Bear, another 4-star wide receiver, definitely in your guys' grasp. Somebody that I think you can land. You got to beat out Boise State in Utah, though. We talked about Jacob Smith and Gerard Smith, both on the defensive line. Roger Gardney, one of your guys' actual commits in this class, the 4-star athlete, will be there to try to help sell players into coming and playing with him. You've also got Devon Hall, the 4-star wide receiver, Mario Buford, the 4-star defensive back. I think that one's probably going to end up coming down between Arkansas and Oregon, but we'll have to keep an eye on that one. Grant Bricks, the offensive lineman, 4-star guy. You've heard some people across the industry allude to how Grant Bricks could potentially be a 5-star by the end of the cycle. I think Oklahoma lands this recruitment, but I think it's down between Oklahoma and Iowa. One that we want to keep our eyes on because Matt Rhule could definitely make his strides in that recruitment as well. Isaiah Mosey, I don't think you guys get him. Again, he's just doing his due diligence, taking his rounds. Ian Flint, that's one that I think is your guys tied into lose. I think that's one that you guys can easily land if you guys don't get Carter Nelson. Peyton Lewis, the 4-star running back. I think that guy's going to end up going to Tennessee or Penn State. Michael Boganowski. So this one's interesting. The 3-star linebacker out of Kansas, Junction City, Kansas. I'm curious to see where this one lands because he recently took a visit to Oklahoma. He's taken visits to Kansas, Kansas State, and teams like that. But Nebraska could definitely use a guy like that. Again, we're also talking about Midwest guys. Thomas Heiberger, another 3-star linebacker. You guys should be easily be able to win out that recruitment. Caleb Benning, a 3-star defensive back out of Omaha, Nebraska. In-state guy. You got to be able to keep those in-state guys at home. And then you've got Isaiah McMorris, the 3-star wide receiver out of Nebraska as well. I don't think I need to say anything else about keeping these guys in state anymore because you guys get my drift. Gibson Pyle, one that you guys should be able to win, be able to go into Texas, and for Matt Rhule to be able to keep that recruiting pipeline that he has in Texas. That's important here. That's important. Something that we need to watch and see if he's able to manage that. Elijah Newby, the 3-star linebacker. And I'm sure, guys, we're going to see more guys take a visit to the University of Nebraska that necessarily haven't publicly announced that they're going to be there. Some kids like to show up and just show up. So, yeah, Nebraska fans, I want to hear from you. What do you guys think about this? Who do you guys think out of the 3 5-stars you think you can realistically land? And listen, if you guys haven't already, go ahead, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Like I said, guys, I'm trying to start a family, trying to get married. Hit the subscribe button. That's one simple thing for me. Watch these videos. It really helps me out. Jump in the comments below and let me know what y'all think.